Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm away from home tonight and it's February 10th right now as I'm recording this. We'll see if I can figure out how to upload it without my computer tonight. But I wanted to check in with you about the last couple of entries that I haven't talked about yet. And we are going through Sarah Bonbronick's book right now, Simple Abundance. This is her 2019 edition. And I'm so glad you're here with me on this journey. I want to check in and see how February's going so far for you. We're a little ways in, right? And as I was packing for my trip, you know I brought my gratitude journal, so doesn't matter. I can't take the time off from my gratitude practice, right? So I have that with me. Now, I love these last few entries that we've had about becoming the artist of your life. I hope you're following along in the book, and even if you're a couple days behind and you just catch up a few days at a time, it's really, really nice to read her words. And I know I don't always do them justice, but so we've been pioneers, right, on our journey, getting started and on the path to self-discovery and living an authentic life. And then we talked about how we're also goddesses being born again, maybe, right? Or maybe for the first time. And now she talks to us about being an artist. And I really felt like this one resonated with me a lot. I'm not an artist, but I like to do creative things for sure. And actually I mentioned that we had a power outage recently. And so sometimes when you don't have internet or the ability to do things with power, you have time to do things that maybe you don't make time for in other cases, right? So I was working on some creative things, one of which I will share with you as it comes up in one of the entries. And so I like the idea of being an artist, and I like the idea of connecting that with my life. And so she talks to us, and I'm not going to specifically read certain things, but I will summarize about some of the things she says. She talks to us about how every day is a fresh palette, like just like an artist starts out with a canvas that's fresh. And she talks about a ritual that she has with every day putting on a primer, sort of, I don't know if it's makeup or lotion or whatever she does, that she is consciously doing as a step to reminding herself that every day is a fresh canvas, right? What do you think about that? You like that? I also like how she talks to us about the fact that when we're an artist and we're creating this life that we want to have, and we're figuring out things like, what do we like to do? What do we like to eat? What do we like to surround ourselves with? What do we like to wear? Who do we like to be around? Those sorts of things. That we're making all these small little choices that add up to maybe a brand new life, right? So she does encourage us, and this is something I haven't done in my journal yet, but this is a new activity to consider. You know, I love my lists. She talks to us about trying something different, something new, and seeing how that feels. So maybe you've always had the same sort of tea, or, you know, and these could be things that you love. I'm not saying abandon all these things that you love, but make some new choices and think outside the box and see how you feel. So I think what I'm going to try to do is maybe identify a few choices that I could try something different. And just make it an exploration. It doesn't mean that it's my new flavor or my new fashion statement, but just try some things and see how I feel, and see how pushing myself to be a little bit different, how it is, and if I like it or not. So that's all about being an artist, right? When you're molding the clay, and sometimes it goes in a different direction than you planned, or if you're writing a song and takes on a whole new genre, or rhythm. I didn't really talk about a few days ago her mentioning bringing rhythm back into your life. And what does that mean to you? Do you have any rhythm in your life? That's something to think about as well. What else does she say about being an artist? I'm going to read her words. Today, accept that you are creating a work of art by making big and little choices between playing it safe and risking. So that's just what I was saying about trying something new, right? She talks about something that she calls an artisanal lifestyle. So living the life of an artist, right? And again, it doesn't have to be that you have any creative inclination. So don't feel like you have to be a poet or an artist. But think about designing your life. All these things that we've been doing, like the illustrated discovery journal, the treasure map, putting little things away that inspire you, all these things that are helping us excavate our souls again, are really part of this artisanal lifestyle. It's not an easy word for me. And one last thing that she mentions again is quieting the mind is a real part of this, and quieting the news like we talked about. And she mentions a little bit about not being as much of a consumer either. And I guess I'm really not. I don't consider myself a huge consumer. So she talks about some growing pains and how that was difficult for her to cut back. But I feel like I probably live a fairly simple life to begin with. So what do you think? I'd love to know what kind of life you're designing and whether you're going to try something new, even if it's just one thing, maybe one thing a week, going on a different sort of creative excursion than you would have thought of in the past. I hope all of this is giving you pause for thought and introspection and really honing in on who you are at your soul level and designing a life that speaks from that place. It's really food for thought. I look forward to your comments, and let's continue to have a really lovey-dovey February. I hope you're watching romantic movies and maybe reading poetry and thinking about ways that you can make Valentine's Day special, whether there's a Valentine there or not. You can be your own Valentine, right? You've already given yourself a huge gift by being here on this channel with me this year. So thank you so much. Much love to all of you, and I will see you next time.